Hi, I'm here to talk to you from the Central Statistics Office, and I want to address the concern people have about the census and the issue of privacy. This issue has been completely blown out of proportion by some irresponsible members of the public. Some people on the uncontrolled internet have talked about the principle of having a company like CACI involved in the census. Well, let me tell you something. CACI UK Limited are the company we have contracted to help with the IT systems on this census. This company are totally independent subsidiary of their parent company, CACI International Incorporated. And we need to make this clear distinction. The accusations of torture in the Abu Ghraib prison in Iraq are directed at the parent company based in the USA, and even so, they have not been found guilty of any wrongdoing after investigations held by themselves and the US government. Anyway, we have not hired them. We have hired CACI UK Limited, not CACI International Incorporated. CACI UK Limited have been invaluable to us in conducting the census in 2002 and in 2006. We don't know how we would have managed it without them. Their software is top-notch, the security is military standards, and they have been extremely vigilant.
CACI, ever vigilant.
In following out the contract we have set for them. But let's deal with the CACI International Incorporated for a minute. Some of these scathing comments suggest that we shouldn't use CACI because of the bad press they received over alleged incidents of torture carried out by a handful of their employees during their interrogation duties. They no longer work for the company, and calling it grave professional misconduct is a gross exaggeration. This for us does not reflect badly on the company. Few companies could have such an impeccable record as theirs, and these alleged human rights offences were part of a larger military operation in a war situation. CACI International Incorporated was granted immunity from prosecution in the USA as it is considered a part of the military chain of command.
An American-based multinational that had defence contracts, had the contract from the US Department of Defence for involvement in interrogation in Abu Ghraib.
I know that you have an oral question down to the Taoiseach on this, and these obviously come in on a rota basis, and they're answered in so many per day. But you could change that to a written question, and I'll see that the whip, whose responsibility for census matters, gives you the fullest information possible.
No, you've got your answer. It's a question matter for the whips, and if they seek time from the whips through your leader or your whip.
Issue here, and it is a matter. Anything that would affect the integrity of the census will be a very serious national matter.
Thank you very much, Deputy.
Or simply transfer your oral question for written answer, and you'll be given as much information as can be supplied.
Deputy Ferris.
Cut back.
You know, it's the same irresponsible people who tried to create a scandal out of this that would spout such nonsense about the war itself being illegal. But I find this whole line of thinking to be counterproductive when building up relations with our US colleagues. The census is not just a simple head count. It now contains a lot more information that could be useful in all kinds of ways, from anti-terrorism to marketing. Now, we trust the good people of CACI, and you should trust us. The bottom line is we need to work together. The slightly grey area about the matter of the US government having the right to access the information because of the US Patriot Act they brought in 10 years ago, it's an interesting one, that's for sure. I mean, the worst case scenario here is, were someone to take the census info, I can tell you if we found out it would be a €25,000 fine. The same amount we could fine you if you don't take part in it. Now, surely one can understand that a breach of confidentiality due to maintaining the safety of us all is completely ethical. As a small nation, the role we play as a friend and supporter of the American anti-terrorist laws could bring about a stronger relationship between our two nations. Good hard intelligence such as census data is very useful, but as you can see, we are dealing with this matter in a transparent way so as to expose the online ramblings of some irresponsible time wasters for what it is, idle speculation. Besides, CACI's reputation in the Western world is nearly as unblemished as our own. I mean, these people work with diligent organisations such as the FBI and the CIA. They protect our freedoms in the democratic world. They are working to ensure the internet is watertight and without leaks. So obviously we have learned a lot from them with regard to storing our data here at our centre in Swords, and this building is secure. Confidentiality is what we are all about. The computers are programmed not to scan your name, and of course we'd like to prove this to you, but there would be a security risk involved, and besides we have an unblemished record which we must protect to maintain your trust. As we state on our website, the CSO operates as a one-way street, in the sense that identifiable data comes in but does not leave the office. We have the only key. If this was to become a big deal, then people would be needlessly bothering themselves at a time when we as a country have enough problems. Also, on a practical level, this has cost us a lot of money, and we wouldn't want to waste any more of the taxpayers' money. If we're not careful, we could have a situation like in the UK and Scotland, where people would be questioning the good work of the government there in its judgment to award Lockheed Martin and CACI the census contracts. We wouldn't want any further breakdown of trust in our government and our public service, and we wouldn't want any unnecessary protest. We would also like to take this opportunity to thank the majority of the media and politicians for their silence on this issue over the years. Because it's not an issue, it's no big deal. It need not concern you. Trust us, and thank you very much for your cooperation.